everyone. In the previous two videos, we have revised chapter 24 of civics. Now today we'll be doing project work from history, chapter 5, chapter 9 and chapter 11. In chapter 5, we will discuss later and early Vedic period. In chapter 9, we'll talk about the villages and towns and the use of iron tools. And in chapter 11, we'll discuss spread of Buddhism. So, let's get started.
Now chapter 5, we'll start with your project from chapter 5, the explanation part, different ways of life, the early Vedic period and the later Vedic period. First of all, we'll start with the Vedas. The word Vedas means knowledge. They are the main source of history. The Vedas are 4 in number, the Rig Veda, the Sama Veda, the Yajur Veda and the Atharva Veda. The Rig Veda is the oldest Veda. Second is the early Vedic period. This period is also known as the Vedic period. The people of this early Vedic period were semi-nomadic. They domesticated cattle and other farm animals. The cattle was their main source of livelihood. In the early Vedic period, the Aryans migrated to the Indian subcontinent in large groups. They spread in the area known as Saptasindhu. Saptasindhu means the land of 7 rivers: Ganga, Yamuna, Kaveri, Godavari, Indus, Narmada and Saraswati. Aryans settled in small groups and started agriculture. They introduced horses in India. Now the social division in the early Vedic period. The early Vedic people did not have any differences of caste. The only difference was between Aryans, white skinned people and the dark skinned people. Dark people were the Dasas. Means the difference was only the white and dark people, white and black people. White Aryans were there also, white skin Aryans were there also and the black skin Aryans were there also. Black skin Aryans were the Dasas. The society was divided into 4 groups: Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas and Shudras. Now their work: Brahmanas performed religious functions, Kshatriyas fought wars, Vaishyas cultivated lands and Shudras worked as laborers. Now the position of women in early Vedic period. Women was very respectable position. She was in the very respectable position. They participate in public meetings. No child marriage was there. Widow remarriage was allowed. Now food and entertainment in early Vedic period. People eat meat, fruits, ghee, vegetables, etc. They entertain ourselves with hunting, horse racing, music, dance, wrestlings, etc. Now their dress and religion. The Aryans people wore dresses made of cotton and wool. Men wore dhoti, shawl and turban and women wore the covered dresses. The early Vedic people worshipped the sun god, rain god and the fire god. There were no idols, no temples were there, and these were the most important gods. Now in the later Vedic period, this period was known as the epic age because the 2 great epics were written in this time, Ramayana and Mahabharata. In this period, the position of the king became the stronger. He was also titled as Samrat. In this period, there were 4 stages of life or ashrams: Brahmacharya, being a student; Grihastha, being a householder; Vanprastha, forest dweller; and Sannyasa, the stage of renunciation. In this period, there were 3 important gods: Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva. Children, in the early Vedic period, people worshipped the nature gods: sun god, fire god, rain god. And in the later Vedic period, people worship Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva. So this is all about the early Vedic period and the later Vedic period. Now the life in towns and villages. This period means 600 BC to 300 AD. Many developments were there both in the rural and the urban life of the people in India. First is the increasing use of iron tools. Agricultural production increased due to increased use of iron tools. Iron tools such as axes, sickles, etc. were helped in cleaning the forests. Because of these iron tools, there was increase in new varieties of crops and fruits. Irrigation. Irrigation was used to increase production. Irrigation work was carried out by building canals, wells, tanks, lakes, etc. in this period. Towns, trade and craft. In the starting, towns were small in size, but later they grew in size and in numbers. Each town was famous for a particular activity. For example, Madurai was famous for cotton textile. Pottery and jewelry were manufactured in Varanasi. Some towns were more important than others because they developed as centers of trade and crafts. Next is the people in the villages. There were three main classes of people living in the villages in South India. They were rich landowners or the Vellalas. Second is the ordinary plowmen or the Ujavars. And third is the landless laborers called the Kadasyar. In the northern part of India, each village had a village headman called Grama Bhojika. He collected taxes from the villagers. There were smaller landowners called Grihapatis. Below them were the Dasas, Karmakaras, who earned their living by working in the fields of others. Each village had potters, blacksmiths, weavers, carpenters, basket makers and other craftsmen also. So this is all about life in towns and villages. Now next is the conquerors from distant lands and spread of Buddhism in Central Asia. The work of kings. Many kings and rulers, particularly of the Indo-Greek, the Shakas, the Kushanas, played an important part in establishing strong and cultural contacts between India and many distant lands. The Shakas. They were a nomadic tribe of Central Asia. They established many kingdoms, of which the most important were Takshila, Mathura, Nasik and Ujjain. Rudradaman of Ujjain was the most powerful Shaka ruler. The Kushanas, they were also a nomadic tribe. Kanishka was the greatest of the Kushana kings. He conquered Kashmir, Punjab and Mathura from the Shakas and occupied certain positions of Magda. Kanishka was not only a great conqueror but also a great pattern of art and literature. He was also a great builder. He beautified the cities of Mathura and Peshawar. The Gandhara school of art also progressed under Kanishka. Now Kanishka and Buddhism. Like Ashoka, Kanishka was also a great follower of Buddhism. He spread Buddhism in different places like Tibet, Japan, Korea and built monasteries also. Spread of Buddhism. Many countries of Central Asia proved that India had maintained very close commercial, religious, cultural and political relations with these countries. Both Ashoka and Kanishka were great promoters of Buddhism. Afghanistan was a good center of Buddhism. The Chinese pilgrims like Heinyan and Fayan also wrote that they found Buddhism quite popular in these areas of Central Asia. So children, these are all the three chapters of history for the project. Chapter 5, Chapter 9 and Chapter 11. Now these are the pictures of nature gods. sun god, rain god, and fire god. In the early Vedic period, the early Vedic people worshipped the sun god, nature god, and fire god. Means they worship only nature. There were no temples, there were no idols in the early Vedic period. And according to these people, there is no particular shape of God, there were no temples, and there were no images for worship. So children, in the project notebook, you have to draw and color all these 3 pictures of nature gods very beautifully. Apart from this, children, I'll give you some fill-ups also from these chapters that you will get in the PDF file. So do your project very nicely. That's all for today. Be happy. Keep smiling. Thank you.